A season of incredible highs and lows for the Golden State Warriors, and this man has lived it. He is General Manager Bob Meyers. Nice enough to come in and join us. Bob, first of all, I have to say, I thought it was an incredible strategy in Game 1 to decoy Steph and Clay, and then let Sean Livingston really be the scoring leader. So
well,
it just shows it.
You remember the WWF where they kind of script stuff? So we sat down, and the NBA says, "Hey, you know, Steph and Clay, you're not gonna. It's not your night tonight. Sean, you're gonna score, and then Andre, you do it. That's how we do it. Nobody knows that, but now they know."
But
so
in all seriousness, in the Chronicle today, it talked about you stepping out of the locker room after the game and really praising what team is all about. That really illustrated who you guys are.
Yeah, you know, Vince, the stars get the glory; they deserve it, right? But there's a lot of guys that make a team go and get our team to where we are now, and those guys matter just as much. And to see those guys be ready and step up, and Sean Livingston's story, I would never get tired of telling that story, because these guys know, you know, the play Dennis Isaiah. He was a high draft pick, and then he sat there on the floor thinking, I may not walk. And now to see him succeed, that's for kids, for anybody that is down and has had hard luck or been at the top and been at the bottom, to see him persevere, it's one of my favorite stories of our team.
There are a lot of inspirational stories on your team, and you know, we talk about the stars a lot, and in this era we've also seen two stars on teams fight, feud, not get along. So when we're talking about Curry and Thompson, and I talked to Dumars this morning because I was trying to find the right words to accurately describe what it is that I'm seeing, and Dumars said, you know, Zeke, you're seeing true love, you're seeing genuine love, you're seeing people that love each other, that have stuck together, played together, got through tough times, but yet they still like each other. So I want to ask you about Curry and Thompson in terms of their relationship. Two high-level superstars. Have they ever had any beef with each other? Any dislike? I mean, because you know it's so uncommon in this day and era that the two stars get along, and these two seem to really get along.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I was watching Isaiah, that Bad Boy special, and I was watching the part where they had you go back with, I think, the general manager, Jack, and Coach Daly and Joe, and talk about what happened with his father.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, that's so interesting to me to see Isaiah. You were in the room with him, and that they let you know before Joe, before the game. And I don't know your relationship. Sounds like you have a great relationship with Joe, but I would say, for not 1 second was it envy or jealousy. It was all about, I'm helping you as much as you're helping me. We just want to win basketball games.
Yeah.
And from a distance, that's what it looks like you guys had, and that's really what these two have. And it's not. You can stand up before the media and say all the right things and then go back in the locker room, and you guys know the play.
Yeah.
It's a different story sometimes when that door's shut. Or when you're texting your friend and saying, I don't know why they're talking about that guy. You know, what about what I did? But Clay and Steph's one of the most humble stars you'll ever see. And Clay, he's like a Terminator. He just wants to win. He doesn't care how it happens. He doesn't care who's the headline in the paper. He just loves playing basketball and competing. So one of my favorite stories of this postseason was, and I told it after we had beaten Portland, Steph and Draymond were up on the podium. And so they had finished and concluded the interview, and Steph was about to get up. And they said, any more questions? And they said, no questions. So Steph pushed up from the podium, and then he said, hang on a second. He sat back down. He said, you know what? I want to make sure everybody understands how great a series Klay Thompson had. He said he doesn't get enough credit. And I called him, and I said, that's leadership. And that's why they can have that genuine affection for each other, which is real. And that's what, if things aren't real, they don't work.
Yep.
In this NBA, you guys know, you will get, if it's not a tight relationship, it will get splintered, it will get fractured. And if it's not real, but when it's real, it can withstand anything.
And Bob, how is the love for basketball for you, knowing your story, walking at UCLA, playing? How does all that basketball knowledge for you help you build this team?
You know, I was thinking about what would make a good GM, and the best GM, to be honest, in my opinion, would be one that could actually play with the people. Like when you guys were players, you knew more than I know who can play, who can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Quickly. You know when it's going to be a tough night for you. You got a guy that's going to not give you an inch, and you know when it's going to be easy.
Yes.
More than I know, as sitting there, I try to understand. Well, that guy, Sean Livingston, I always thought, man, that guy. I don't care how he does. He helps you win basketball.
Yeah.
Iguodala, not afraid of the moment, not afraid to defend for the whole game. But a player knows more.
Yeah.
I can never know as much as so I ask our players. I'll ask Draymond. I'll say, who who doesn't get enough credit, right? Who in the league? I'll ask our players all the time, who's underrated?
Yep. Yep.
Who can play that I don't know? Because sometimes it's a guy on a team that gets he gets blamed because his team's awful.
Yeah.
And he's just part of that narrative. So what makes a good I think you got to love basketball. I like watching basketball. If you guys were playing one-on-one right
and
now,
you're still playing.
Yeah,
exactly.
I would watch.
And you're still playing
Yeah,
yourself.
I still play. I love to play basketball. So
right.
I just love it. So I think that helps just to watch it and enjoy it, have a passion for what you do. But I always wish that for some reason you check into a game, you'd find out real quick,
Right.
Yeah.
right? Who can play, and so that's where who's going to get that 50-50 ball,
Right.
Yeah.
Or and I always a smart player can't be a player that's not smart, but a smart player is probably the best GM around because he knows the whole league.
Yeah.
And so for me, you try to put yourself out there and say, who are the guys? Forget about that. And obviously, we've built a team around shooting and different types of things. But who are the guys that just want to win and hate to lose? We don't come back from 3-1 if our players don't like to compete, right? You don't have the success you guys have if you don't just like to compete.
Yeah.
Because it's too hard.
Bob,
You-
real quick, we talk about shooting. You have two guys that attempt 10 threes a game. Now, back
Here he
in my
goes.
day,
Here
20
he
years
goes.
ago, when I broke the record, I only took about 7.5 a game, so I feel a little jealous 20 years
Yeah.
later. That's
Should play
amazing.
now.
That's amazing to see two guys attempt 10 threes
Yeah.
a game and shoot at a high level.
Yeah, well, one game this year early, Curry had 15 three-point attempts.
Right.
And I walked back in the locker room and I said, you know what's crazy? I said, nobody's even talking about it. It's not even mentioned that he took 15. Forget about how many he made. He
Right.
took 15 and nobody cares.
Yeah.
If you had taken 15,
exactly.
they think you lost your mind.
Right.
Well,
They
that's
say,
what,
what's wrong with this dude?
so I had Jared Greenberg ask Coach Kerr yesterday about the normalization and acceptability of the three-point shot. I think what you guys have done with Thompson and Curry is normalize the shot, made it more acceptable from greater distance. And, you know, the shot that Clay took against OKC,
Man.
3 minutes to go in the game, or 2 minutes to go in the game, and you're down like 6 or 7, and he shoots it from almost the hash mark. You know, just 3 years ago, that shot is considered like a terrible shot. But now all these shots that you guys are making is acceptable.
Yeah.
So I had Jared ask Kerr, and I'm going to ask you, when did you finally accept these guys taking these type of shots from this great a distance?
We're still working on that. When Clay took that shot against Oklahoma City, I mean, that's not a good shot for anybody.
No.
I think they got it. It was 29 feet from the top of the key with Westbrook, and you can't blame Russ.
Look at these shots. Look at some of these shots.
They don't. I suppose
Come on.
you have to, at some level or at some moment in time, accept it. But they go against everything. For me, even maybe the next generation will not even blink. But I'm still part of watching you guys. I'm still part of. That's not a good shot.
Yeah.
But these guys are changing what a good shot is and what a good shot isn't. Because
Absolutely.
For Steph and Clay, and guys like Lillard, and there's a lot of guys now that is there a bad shot? I mean, there is. Time and score matter more. That's what we got to figure. Sometimes we get caught up in that's a bad shot for that time.
Well, time and score, like I said, 15 seconds on the shot clock. And you're on the road.
Yeah, I know.
Pressure situation.
No. In that game, we were going to the fourth quarter, and I looked at Travis Schlenk, assistant GM, and Kirk Latham, and I looked at him, and I said, it's going to take something heroic to win this game. And what Clay did was heroic. I mean, for basketball standards, but not life. But the shots he made, they defended him great.
Yeah.
It's not bad defense.
Yeah.
And so, it's...
Let's not overanalyze it. Let's just enjoy it.
Let's just enjoy it.
Let's just enjoy it. Bob, thanks for stopping by.
All right,
Always a
guys.
pleasure to
Thanks
speak
a lot.
with you.
Appreciate
Really
it. Take care.
Appreciate the
All right,
time.
Yes.
Best of luck.